yet based on where he is in the zone. And definitely will need them with Storm Surge. We won't see it as much in these later games as you saw Kiriachi getting more aggressive, turning more to that Kiriachi, getting more aggressive, turning more to that Kiriachi from old that we've seen time and time and again. And other players are going to start to do that as well. They need that pop-off game. They need that game to really set them apart. That's what they're doing. But we've got another replay here from Ledwig's perspective as he's on the back foot running away from a henchman, as well as another player there is going to look to try to take down Jules. And unfortunately, you can't take down Jules when there's a carrot lurking nearby.
The coordinated spray there between the henchman and carrot will take down Letwick. He was third place going into this, so still plenty of room for others to move up the leaderboard, but hopping on over with Hen, who was 6th coming into this match, trying to keep an eye on who's on the top of the leaderboard. What are they doing to set themselves up? Because again, this is the second to last match, so if you're going to get going, you have to move now. And with top 75 ticking over, that's 1 point for everyone left in the lobby. You get a placement point for outlasting the top 25 players, then you get a placement point for outlasting the next 25 players, so that's top 50, and then after every top 10 until you get to the top 25, and then it's every 5 players until you're into the top 3. So right now Hen just trying to settle himself up, make sure he has plenty of materials. He's in a good spot to rotate after this, but he is very far south on the zone, so if zone number 2 does pull northward, it can be a little difficult. However, he's looking to just potentially find tags on rotating players, and he's going to find one there.
And he needs this because he came into the game down, I believe my math's correct, 7 points there. That's a lot of points, especially with the low amount of eliminations that we've seen Hen get. Not really one to be up there in the average elimination category, but he's got it. We got number 3 went down, number 7 went down. And in this place coming into this game, has got an opportunity to really solidify himself. I know a lot of people who saw that performance in the qualifier where he ended up getting 2nd place and were like, oh, that's not the Hen that I know, but an ambush being set up shows that Hen has got the ability to do it, and you can't build a wall there. He's got to be careful. Snipe, unfortunately, forgot about that, and Hen took advantage. The quick reaction time for Hen going to set him apart. Another elimination closing the gap. But the point I was trying to make is that Hen is here. He is turning online. This is where he can make his name become a legend.
And that's what he's looking to do in a really good job. We talk about how the best players in the world, not just in the region, but at the absolute highest level, not only are they capable of winning those early game fights and rotating in the late game, but they're so good at manufacturing eliminations, setting up these ambushes, and finding spots to take advantage of their opponent. Notice how Hen was crouched beside the side of the wall. In Cartoon, we talk about taking advantage of rotations there, using the epic sniper rifle, catching Benji out in the open on top of the authority, and sometimes that's all it takes. No warning, nothing whatsoever, except the whizzing of a bullet, and then all your loot dropping down to the ground. Waves Cartoon taking out Energy's Benji Fishy, the fan favorite, the World Cup qualifier, arguably one of the most consistent players in EU, but he's struggled time and time again when it comes to these grand finals FNCS situations. We saw it back in Season X with MMB where they kept getting ambushed over and over again, and it's proving true today. But right now, our number 1 player, Rifla, under all the pressure in the world and only those 2 minis to get himself back up, and Scram is not letting him heal up at all, not relenting, trying to pressure down and give everyone else a chance to catch up.
Rifla's got to make a play here. Scram is 200 HP as Rifla can crash pad it in. The box goes through. He's not going to be able to crash pad out, and number 1 is out of the game. That's really good for Deceptos, who currently in 2nd place right now.
Not only is it good for Deceptos, it's good for every single player in the lobby. Letwick is down in 3rd. Rifla is down in 1st. What does that mean? It doesn't matter how low on the leaderboard you are. If you can convert a victory royale, that's 14 points without the eliminations. Traditionally, we've seen at least 4, if not 5. That's a 19-point game. Any player who walks away with a victory here could rocket themselves up the leaderboard, and Tayson's trying to do it, and he does it to Janice himself over in the Steamy Stack side. The duo and trio partners, they played together together time and time again, but there is no love lost in solos. It doesn't matter who you're fighting against. At the end of the day, with 2 matches left, when your back is against the wall and that Axe of Champions is on the line, when you've seen the #1 player go down, you're taking every fight at 100%, and Tayson cleans up the FNCS Invitational winner, no problem there.
A beautiful display of skill there from Tayson. Says, you know what? All is fair and love is war. I'm taking you down. I'm getting it. Just a reminder, there's $800,000 on the line here today. One elimination could separate you from a certain placement threshold on that overall leaderboard, and that could be the difference between some big amounts of money. And so no one wants to go out just sitting there not taking engagement or having to think about
Please put the fishy on me.
elimination would have put me there. Deceptos, however, in second place right now, but first place, third place, seventh place are all out of the game. Anas still in the game from what we know, Vadil still in the game from what we know, and Hen still in the game from what we know. There's still a chance for him to be challenged, but this is great for Deceptos because if he can just make it to a top 5, he's already going to eclipse the points that Rifle had. So any eliminations and any placement past that will be so good for him.
And you can see what Deceptos is doing right now is he's hanging out inside of his box, and then he's editing the cone in the top. What that allows you to do, as opposed to other structures, you can see out the top of that cone. You can kind of scout out the information around you. He's trying to figure out where the priority is, and once the zone does reveal, he's going to move a little bit more inland from that outside. He knows he doesn't want to be right on the edge, but he also doesn't want to move too far center, as he wants to set himself up for that 4th and 5th zone positioning. As now we're going to swing on over the farm. And a number of players here, Lecce, Ardit, Mongrel, and Noah Riley, all posted up right on top of this barn and also right on the edge of that next safe zone.
He's got a shockwave launcher that has been doing very well. I think 3 out of the 4 games the player has won with actually using it. That last game we saw it actually get defeated there. The question is, will Noah be able to reign supreme with it? With only 27 builds, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's got to get this elimination down below. Dropping through the rafters, though, will give him an opportunity to get a shot, but it misses. That's a third party coming through. Noah Riley suddenly finds himself in a situation he does not want to be in, and the quick edits out will return him to the high ground.
Fishy on me.
To work with here, he's already farmed it all out.
Yeah, and he's going to now start breaking those builds. You saw they were already damaged, just trying to get as much wood without actually converting over, but he is quite literally right on the white line of the zone with so many sharks in the water right around him. You saw Mongrel saying, nope, I'm getting out of there, and if Mongrel's rotating away from the situation, you probably don't want to get stuck in it either. But Noah Riley, if anybody has the loadout to make it work, it's him with the mythic weaponry, particularly in close quarters. You have so many options available to you, and that mythic shark shotgun hits so hard, and it's Lecce who he hits so hard, 12 HP being the difference, and then immediately boxes, edits himself up, and he's going to pop those shields, get the med kit off, and try and defend. But no, only 1 mini he's able to get off. Again, going to break away and just going to opt to use the shockwave launcher to create some space, use some natural cover there, and the ramp that was pre-built to hopefully now pop that med kit. But Clement is nearby, just cone camping.
That was too close for comfort there for Noah Riley. Got that Elam, but not as many matches he was hoping for it, and hopefully able to continue his streak going through. But now we're on board here with Rezon. Same kind of situation. A lot to work with in the inventory, but not a lot of matches. And look, he's looking to set up. Oh, crash pad in the top. Will he get in? No, the cone's going to prevent it, but he's all the way in. He doesn't care. This player being a little bit too careful with their builds, and one of that drop, and they're not going to be able to get it as Rezon going to get the drop on them as they're continuing the crash pad. Crash pad in, trying to get the player out, and shots go through, and PCH going to go down yet again.
Really good job from Reason there to hound that fight out, saw all of the excess loot that was coming in there, knew if he was able to close that out, he'd be able to just kind of advance himself into the game. And notice too, he pulled that 4th zone. He's right on the edge of that, so he should be looking to see how many extra materials he was able to pick up from PCH there and just build himself a nice little base, expand out, get deeper into that zone, and then own all of that territory possible, make it harder for people to rotate back over. As now we're going to swing on board here with Hen, who was 6th coming into this match. Another big opportunity for him to rocket up the leaderboard with his teammate Rifle going down.
He's got to make a very, very good slate of decisions in front of him. When does he rotate? Does he rotate now? If you look, he's got a good white line there, only one player standing between him and that, and he's actually going to choose to go around the top, but he assumes that there's not that many players coming this way because it came from Steamy, but look how many arrows assume that as well. And so unfortunately, he's got a lot of players this area. He's trying to set up an ambush, but nobody is going to fall for it. Kane is going to be the one nearest there as he does get some shots, but this is not where Hen wants to be. He's going to have to get creative on this next piece of the rotation because Kane's going to sit in the cone. He's got to realize that, and he does. He puts the ramp. He knows immediately that that cone in the middle of all these builds is a little bit fishy.
It's a little bit fishy. You can also tell as soon as it enters that edit state, it's no longer that fully built. If you see a non-fully built cone, you have to be wary of it. But that player trying to catch an advantage of Hen, and Hen says, joke's on you. Welcome to the chicken coop. I'm the boss here. Takes him down. No problem closing in on that second placement threshold. But Hen trying to catch up and take over that #1 spot, being the top legend, but now on board one of the favorites. It's Rezon, who has had a relatively decent performance today, just on the outside of the top 15 coming into this game, but it's not been the consistency we've seen out of him in the heat stage, finding it a little bit harder to cement himself in those consistent top 15s and top 10s that he was so well known for during the qualifiers.
And every day you play Fortnite, somebody gets better, somebody improves, and somebody comes out of nowhere, and you've got to be on top of that. And for some of these players, sometimes, you know, it doesn't end up working out that way because of the RNG factor. It's unfortunate to see him go down there as we see a fight happening between Wolfies and Serenity Swaps as Rezon going to look to get some third parties there, is actually shooting through an open edit there, not shooting through a wall, as he does get some tags onto Swaps, as Swaps is dropping down onto Wolfies, and Wolfies is actually going to fall.
And we've seen this time and time again. We've kind of talked about it. Wolfies is really good when he's the aggressor, but he can kind of be taken advantage of when you go back on him. And that's what we've seen time and time again. And that's kind of what European solos is about. Like, yes, you can be good when you have all the tempo, but pretty much every other one of these players is good at playing high tempo. As Rezon identifying the fact that that fight had been resolved, immediately crash pads over, and he's able to pick that one up. Now he has 3 players worth of loot over on the side with priority on zone. He's going to be somebody to keep an eye on to potentially take advantage of the fact that 3 of the players in the top 7 have already fallen. Tayson, another player we want to keep an eye on. He was top 10 before coming right into this. He's able to pick up Steelix with just 1 HP to spare before that siphon ends up coming through, and that's a 2-point swing as we hit top 50.
And he finds the extra minis as well. This is so good. He gets the flopper off. He's going to have minis to refill the ones that he's trying to take. And he finds a good path to zone as well. This was very, very clutch in getting into this end game, because had he not found that, he would have been very, very, very much in shambles. As Rezon nearby, Mawaka there as well, as we get Nebby, Arion Carton there on your screen, Mr. X as well, advises there. A Savage now in this end game as well, 17 points. So he needs 2 back-to-back perfect games to get to that top.
Yeah, and it's somebody who's very good at executing in the mid and the late game. We've seen time and time again 100 Thieves and Mr. Savage, and we've also haven't seen as much as we did before. The peppers in play. When you eat those peppers, you get a huge move speed boost, and it lasts for a minute. So when you get in these late game circles, it gives you a lot more options and a little bit more versatility when you're in these fights. And right now, Savage doesn't have one activated, but using that crash test dummy, hoping to avoid an explosion right here and potentially be the one to cause a little bit of demolition derby. Gonna drop in the box, finds the first shot, finds the second, can't quite convert. Right now 5 HP and he gets taken down. Mr. Savage, 17 points, going to be on the outside looking in when it comes to contesting for the top spot. Both him and Benji, 2 of the fan favorites, effectively eliminated from that Axe of Champions competition. But want to know who's not? E11 Tayson up on the high ground right now, just raining shots down in that full built metal base, and then using the ramps around the side to cut off any angle of players who might punish him. And a great hip fire shot onto Smudge, then converting afterward, then right away popping the crash pads and trying to head over towards that player to potentially scoop up whatever he can get as we close in on top 40. That's placement points going over in the next rotation, moving out.
And what a start contract where we saw him on the low ground, had high ground all of a sudden, and now a fragging out, is getting elimination after elimination on 3 now, looking to pick up number for that player. No shields remaining, no builds remaining as well. That's going to be Young Bob going down. Tayson now looking for elimination number 5, not going to be able to get it. He's got a good amount of mats as well. 2 crash pads remaining in the inventory, so he can make it into zone number 7 and 8 as it pulls away from him. He's going to look for any eliminations that he can, but he decides, you know what, I'm going to get ahead of zone, then look back, because that is the best way to find these eliminations, as players are not paying attention to the head of zone.
The top 25 taking over. Hen does go down there, as well as a player who's contending towards the top. But Tayson, the winner of Heat 2, trying to push forward and cement his spot. He has now tied Rifla, who is the leader coming into this. This is his opportunity to take over the front spot. And notice what he's doing so well is he's tarping out and he's using the full builds and he's staying towards the front part of the zone. And then he doubles back right here looking for picks. This is something when you have execution, you have space, no one else is on your level, you turn eliminations in by doing this, because he knows he's safe and he can continue moving on a horizontal level while also harassing his opponents. Top 20 ticks over now. Tayson going to continue contributing there. 43 points for the E11 player.
And he goes into zone to crash play because he wanted to be safe doing it, did not want to risk it. He's got the flopper. So that damage he took is effectively null. He's back up to 200 effective HP, but 18 players remaining. He's going to have to make a play, and he's already looking for high ground. He's second high right now, but the drop down going to ensue. Swee's going to fall there to Milan. Tayson getting challenged, but he's going to get an elimination there. Again, now on 6 eliminations. Dayon going to go down. Flopper Michael going to fall as well.
Late high ground take right now, and he's trying to push forward. Frenzy Fishy up on the high ground, but now dropping back in. This is the box-to-box fight. He's able to pick it up. That is a huge elimination. Reason right over the side, but it's all Tayson all the time. 9 eliminations, pushing forward for top 5, and he's saying right now, I can cement this #1 spot. I can take away the game. I can make you chase me in game number 6 as he closes in for top 3, and he's still hunting. He has that mythic charge shotgun. He says, I'm not just a shockwave player. 11 eliminations. 2 of the players go down, and it's Reason, arguably the strongest solo player, wire to wire, against what is the strongest solo player on the day right now in E11's Tayson. Tayson up on the high ground, Reason on the low ground, and that little bit of Old Man Mountain, he doesn't have to be too large, but it's going to burn Reason through the last of his resources. He's standing out there spraying, no builds left, and Tayson converts to jump so in a monstrous way. 12 eliminations, add the 14 points for the victory royale. That's 26 points in match number 5. What? What an insane performance.
question is, can anyone flip the story, flip the switch, right? For the Siptos and reason, it's their last game, establish stand, have a K in it. X-Reese Thomas, I mean, if Jason can do it, if he can be at this spot, 20th place, 30th place, and shoot all the way up, any of these guys could too.
And they all have the capability. Again, we talk about this quality factor. These guys have made it here. They have fought through the gauntlet. They have what it takes to cement that win. They just have to make it happen. One game left. We thought it's all, you know, Rifle is at the top, and there's no way. And suddenly Tayson said, no, everyone stand aside. My time is right here, right now. And that's what these guys need to do.
And don't forget, in the Invitational, it was Janice, Tayson's duo partner, but all of a sudden it seems like the skills have transferred because Tayson has not stopped this weekend. He stands above and beyond the rest of 16 points. But if you looked at that top leaderboard, there was a big question, right? Because we were saying, oh, it's Deciptos, oh, it's Rifle, oh, these guys, Letwick has an opportunity. But I talked about conversion last time you guys saw me, and all of a sudden, those guys fell. They dropped like flies. Absolutely every single one of them ended up dropping and gave Tayson and so many others the opportunity, but it feels like all the opportunity from everybody else.
That is how it goes sometimes, man. We keep talking about it. Those guys at the top, they have to hold on. If they can't, this will happen.
Yeah, I'm going to give you my natural reactions to what I thought this game would look like. Wow, Anas, I'm so hyped and ready for you to be playing this out to get all the way back up to first. And here we go. He gets taken out. Past that, it's fine. We have more predictions in the top 5, right? Letwick, he's there to hang. He's at authority. He has the power and control. He's waiting for shots and making sure everything's looking good for himself. But he gets beamed out too.
It's Carrot, who lurks in the authority again since the Invitational, and he stops Letwick's reign up there, but Rifle had nothing in the tank there against Scram. There was a big shift in player behavior in this game and how they were playing so aggressive. The only guy out of that top 5 who made it towards the end was the Siptos, but